Your greetings and salutations, guys, gals, people, and pals. This is the gentleman Sir Turtle, and this is just a tester or the prototype for the podcast. This will be private for the Discord server. So yeah, enjoy, and I hope you like it, guys. Let me know. Okay. Now, you guys can unmute yourself if you're interested. The topic of the video was about SSS and a couple of other things on how to progress your account and level up. We could keep having this style of videos because we want to make sure that this information is constantly put out there, because in reality, just there, as many players are leaving the game, many players are coming in, and they just don't know this information. I'm finding out that this is a lot of people's first gotcha game, or a lot of people's first idle game, or first mobile game in general, because of the IP. So it's very interesting to see the dynamics of people in the community, in all the various communities that are around there, in Reddit, Twitter, TikTok, Discord, and so on and so forth. But yeah, yeah. Please stay respectful and don't be toxic. Oh, the Pika's talking about the chat. One thing in that I feel like a lot of people don't know when it comes in terms of units and feeding food and what is considered food. I had a conversation just the other day that a player legitimately just feeds whatever units he wishes to other units, and his excuse is that he keeps getting them over and over in pulls, so he doesn't see it as a negative because he keeps getting the same unit over and over. And I obviously tried to explain the whole 240 rankings, SSS. Every SSS is um 5 levels, so on and so forth. You'll be in the mercy of RNG. But some people just don't feel that immediate impact. And I would like maybe some other people's opinions on the matter, because like I know Sion has spoken about this multiple times. Just don't do it. But he was just adamant on just like, I don't care, I'm just gonna do it. I myself have been guilty of feeding a T-Hawk every now and again to Giles and stuff like that. I know, I'm bad. I'm sorry, but yeah. If anyone would like to like open up, talk about something, questions, anything.
Yeah, so this is F2P Casual here. One thing I want to ask is, for example, if you are like checking the fighters, and some fighters actually weak. Like for example, if you think DiCaprio is weak, and you immediately you want to triple Viper because like she is one of the best characters, right, in the meta. So so you can feed DiCaprio for now, because like after 30 days, because you need 180 food just to increase a character to SSS, you are really not going to max out DiCaprio anytime soon, because you'll be focusing on other characters like Dalsum or something else, right? So I think it is okay to feed like some weak A food if you want some immediate progression in Steps of Honor.
So I get,
Okay,
I
can I,
guess
can
I
I
get
reply?
what you're saying is that in terms of like I guess the question would be in that terms is, what A units would you consider food at that time?
Can I reply?
Yeah.
Okay. Never feed an A rank awaken based unit. You will need them later, because after you unlock 240 levels, you're gonna need SSS characters, so you can gain +5 levels as level cap.
I've asked.
And the limited pool that we have of characters is so few, so you can max them all in a span of 3 to 4 months. And after that, you're gonna get double copies after +5 or whatever. Those you can feed them. But to feed A awaken ranked units is a mistake, and it's wrong. It will not help you in progression. And if you want to do it, go ahead and do it, but don't advise it to other people, and it's a big mistake.
Okay, Pika. I mean, I somewhat agree, right? But then I have a different view in like feeding A copies to progress your account. Like initially, like you have to look into your account and see if you actually need that progression. If the S plus copy or the thing that you're feeding is actually going to impact them in the current term. And if it does, then go ahead. But then you also have to look if that character is useful or not. But like in the general consensus of feeding A copies into someone else, like for example, if you have already enough, this is multiple examples on why you might want to feed A copies. Um, I'll give you like the multiple like
I
ways. Cause
can I give
you can.
can I give my example and then maybe you could add on because I'm guilty of both. Here's the thing, I know not to do it, but I do it on time and again, and that's where I want to like piggyback off of what you're saying because I understand whether you're sacrificing the overall progression of your account for immediate satisfaction. And
Yeah,
my example would be I needed SS Fei Long for his assist passive to be able to push with my Dhalsim, and I felt like I was falling so far behind just personally on my goal that I wanted to achieve. I just was not hitting it. So I sacrificed the copy to Fei Long to get it, to move him up to SSS. Do I regret it now? Absolutely not. The 12% buff on the fire and burn damage is absolutely mwah, chef kiss. But will I feel it later? Probably because I've yet to get another DiCaprio since then.
yeah. I mean, okay. For me, I'll just let you know why I would feed it. I'm at the point where like 240 limit break is already there, and my limit break with the current SSS I have is like 305, the maximum I can get, which is like 14 SSS copies. And like getting the EXP to get one full level is going to take you forever. Like if I want to reach that 305, it's going to probably take like 3 to 4 weeks of just with events included and all of
That's
the.
for free to play. You need to
Yeah,
include that that's for free to play.
that's why like for free to play it's not.
This advice doesn't go for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. But then the other option is like if you already have enough copies for an SSS and then you're just gonna, you don't need the additional stars. Maybe if it's not your hyper carry, if it's just your support or your, well, sometimes
Exactly.
it, then you can feed it, right? Like only your hyper carries you would want the stars in. Everyone
Yeah,
else,
that's optimal.
yeah. So then like if you know what you're doing to feed your A copies, then go ahead. I would say if that free copy gets you like one additional placement in the event and then you get like more returns from the rewards that you put in, then it's not like a waste. But if you're just mindlessly feeding the copies just to for the sake of just promoting or just, so then you're not just hoarding all the time, then I wouldn't do it. Like if there's no clear goal on why you would want to do it, then don't do it in the first place. I forgot what I was about to say for the other example. Um,
I guess the most important thing that we should put in context is that when you make a decision for your account, lay out the goal you wish to achieve for your account when you're making these decisions. And like no one has the right to tell you how to play your account. If you want to play it, you want to feed units, you do you, boo boo. That's my favorite saying because do what makes you happy because obviously everyone's playing these games for their personal enjoyment. Um, understand that some people play for the maximum efficiency and effectiveness, while other people just play while they play on their toilet and killing time. So, where you fall in that spectrum, I guess take whatever information is being said and with a grain of salt and use it to your benefit as much as possible. So like like myself, I have two accounts. I have my quote unquote main account, which is the first account that I started in, and then I have a free to play account. And in my free to play account, I use Bisangi, but I don't use Bison. In my main account, I use Bison, but I don't use Bisangi. And it's more of like a personal choice, and just I make things harder for myself. I know using both is smart, but I just don't want to. So
I mean,
like
yeah, you play how you like. You know, in the end of the game, it's you're not competing with anyone else, right? You're just
yeah,
enjoying. How,
unless you want to compete against the top, but then if you're competing at the top, you're realistically in another world compared to everyone else, because that top level most of the time, words are hard, most of the time is the world of whales, for the most part. So if you're that whale, yeah, us peasants ain't talking to you. Sorry.
I remembered one of my points. It's on like about feeding A copies and for like SSS and stuff like that. I know Pika and other YouTubers or other players advise to put food in your wish list, right? I personally don't, and that's why I use some of the A copies as food, just because they're basically like a placeholder of the food that would have been in that wish list. I personally like to have normal A characters in the wish list rather than food, just so then if I do want to use them as food, or if I do want to use them as like a potential unit that I'm gonna build later on.
Okay, so question here, not a question, but yeah, question.
You can do
For food users on the wish list,
it
would it
on the
be
video that I made. It's for min maxing and for progression, for global operation.
well? Here's the question though. Here's the question.
Awakening.
Here's
So
the
you need the
question to
food
your
global
awakening.
awakening.
Here's the question to your awakening though. Because you're putting the food there because you eventually want more fodder to level up S plus, so that way you could feed it to other units, right? If you put the A unit off the rip, it takes away waiting for the food to become A units and workable. Wouldn't it then does be better to feed the A units that's
Yes,
already in
but
A instead of waiting for B units to be built up? If you already know that it's meant for them to be food.
the whole idea from putting A ranks on the wish list is you get them faster. So to get a triple S unit, you need 80 copies of B rank units. This is first. Secondly, for people who start the game and didn't finish global awakening event, which the box or the 8888 gems that you get, you need to finish as soon as possible before 28 days. And to finish the S plus B rank units, all of shit, and you'll be building up food for the next unit that you want to be bringing up. And at the start, you only need one carry for every tower and the main carry for your whole account. So this min max at most. After that, what you want to do with your units, you feel that you don't want to push for levels after breaking through to 140. You feel like at triple S is the baseline because you get the level and any other A copies that you get for this unit that you're gonna probably never use, you're gonna put it for food or anything. That's your personal thing to go through. But if you want to ask for an advice to progress with your account at the game, at the start of the game, as low spender or high spender or free to play, you need to finish the global awakening stage, grab the prize, and you need to build the 3 carries. And building food is essential. Sacrificing A rank units, it's not the biggest mistake. It will hold you back. It will slow down your progression. And we tried it. I tried it personally. I made many rerolls because when I make a guide, I try to make something else. I try to play against my guide to prove myself wrong. And if I could prove myself wrong, I'll take the video from my content that I created. But so far, what I deducted through testing, through building many accounts, through building many systems, is this is the way to go for faster progression. If to clarify, but when you reach those higher stages, like Tix, he broke through 240, and it's so hard for free to play players to get those EXP and cash to gain more levels, and he think that, oh, I can wait until I make an SSS, I can sacrifice this A plus. Yeah, then do it. It's not that bad. It's not harmful. It will not affect you so much.
I guess the one thing is like with the current game that we have, it's impossible for someone to actually experience the negative side effect of feeding the A units because we're not at that point where it's going to be impactful. Like
Always
people
do.
only are
Always do.
now
No,
building.
always do. Like ask Robert J. No, whales do. You can't tell whales
Well,
to
the
feed
whale.
A plus
Remember,
units.
whales are
They're gonna come and
different.
kill you
They're
after that.
different. This
You
is
can't.
we're talking at this point. We're talking from free to play to competitive under the banner that beneath the whales. Because whales, we can't unless a whale here is themselves speak on their personal experience. I'm not speaking for whales, and I'm not going to ever attempt to speak for whales because I don't whale. They're on a whole different
I'm
universe.
talking about my point about my guide. That's all. My guide was universal for free to play, low spenders, and whales. This is why I'm speaking in general. I generalize all the categories. I don't speak about only free to play. When I make a video for free to play, I say just for free to play.
Yeah, I guess
But when
because
it's like a global advice,
it
by
realistically,
logic, I go.
realistically in this topic, whales don't have issue with food. At least I don't like. I never heard that before, where a whale's like, "Damn, I'm starved for food," because they pull for whatever they want and get it.
That
So
before.
that's the only reason why I'm not
They
fitting them
they
in this
rush their
banner.
carries. Yeah. The people that rushed for the food and like they fed like Guile and Kami and Poison to Madryu, made him 5 stars, and they opened the 24 to 240 breakthrough, and they are like, oh, I can level more if only I had more SSS. Oh damn, I need to pay again
But
so I
Pika,
can pull more.
from experience, like okay, right now, like you mentioned, right? Not a lot of free to plays are breaking through 240 just yet. They're about to reach that point, and as
Yeah,
this is from my experience, like like pay to play players, they just buy the grant and you just get like 124 hours exp, so like the resources wasn't an
yeah,
issue.
true.
But then right now, like I'm just getting like barely like the I need like you need like 10 nodes.
Yeah, you're free to play. It's hard to get.
Yeah. So at that point where I'm gonna need the levels, I probably would recoup the stuff that I fed as A plus. But I mean, of course, you're not okay.
Yeah, and this is why I also mentioned the 24 hours. I still have them from day one. The boxes of 24 hours.
Yeah,
I saved and waited till today. So I have like 300 million EXP. So I'm gonna blow them up today all.
because 300 million exp right now is like barely, it's like 2 and 3/4 of a level. That's how much it is. It's crazy. It's just three levels
Yeah.
for 300 million exp. It's crazy. What the hell?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Now I guess with since we have the great ticks here, in terms of uh account progressions and the choices you made for the account that you have now, and if you was to redo it, how would you? What would you change to maximize and make the next account better?
Okay. I guess I can.
If you want to share that, I'm just curious.
Okay, I mean, definitely, like if I if someone wanted to start a new free to play, and then the best tips, if you want to min max, you want to be the best, or if you want to, have no life, obviously you have to camp for a new server to open and then just rush steps of honors. This is just if you really want to be the best, right? This I'm giving you like the necessary tools to do it. You basically want to go to a new server in Steps of Honor, chase it 6-40, because I didn't receive the earlier Steps of Honors, which would propel you like way further into the game. And basically, early on, you would want to just get B Zangief. Early on, I used Madryu, right? So then you want to focus solely on a better DPS early on. What I would do differently if I had if if I had to do it again, I went like full on Guile, right? With the city shop, I went full on Guile. Like I went like even though he was already 4 stars, I put in more just because he's going to be my carry and everything like that. I realistically should have just left him at 4 stars because I this is my second dupe of A plus Guile. So I already fed one A plus Guile dupe. So I basically wasted 45k in terms of just food in City Shop token. I would have just keep it at 4 stars. And if you really needed that a little push, like if you're stuck in a DPS check wall, and you really would need to push that for Steps of Honor or something like that, okay, you'll get it, and you can do it just because you're gonna have a return on your investment. But then my mindset was just like, okay, he's my main DPS, so I'm just gonna use him all the way. Even though I didn't need to put him to 5 stars, I did it anyways. That's what I would do differently. Anything else? Let me see. Like what Pika mentioned, saving these until you're in a higher stage is better rather than just popping it all at once. You pop it like if I need it to break through, I need 1k breakstone only. You wouldn't just go straight away 3k. You just do like the amount that you need rather than just popping all of them all at once like this. Yeah, rather than just popping it all at once, you just do it like the increments that you need, and then just push further. And then if you need a little bit more boost, you pop a little bit, and then push further, and then pop a little bit.
Now,
I wanted
question.
to.
I do have a question. Sorry to interrupt, Emma. I'll let you get your time. Would you stay with Guile, or would you choose a different unit?
I would stay with Gal. Like Sea Viper is also pretty nice. In normal Zangief stages, she's gonna like do worse than Guile, but then also in Bison stages, Viper's gonna do better than Guile. So then you just pick which stages you want to do easier. Like a lot of people would want to have Bison fights easier, right? Obviously, but then there's right now I've been using different methods to combat Guile. I mean, Bison stages, so then it's not as burdenful as you know, but they're both good options. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
Guile is the most damage output AoE throughout the game for PvP for PvE. There is
Yeah.
no better than Guile as damage. You can't scale more than Guile as damage as AoE.
Yeah,
It's
his
impossible.
burst is
We did the
insane.
calculation.
His burst is genuinely insane.
Even Fashion Blanca can't do what Guile does.
the only reason.
Yeah,
Then if
I just
you
wanted
wanted
to
to say,
point out.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out too what I've just observed. The discussion between the A rank feeding and the overall topic is efficiency. So between free to play players, low spenders, high spenders, whales, or just the omega level spenders, the question is always how efficient are my actions in the game, and what my decisions are impacting my experience in the game. So you first have to kind of take a look at what kind of player you are and where you want to be. If you're chasing leaderboard, or if you're just trying to enjoy the game and the characters and just enjoy the product at face value as a free to play player. For me personally, and what I've been experiencing, because I'm on chapter 21 free to play, and I've hit the point where I'm just doing dailies and then just kind of just doing something else. It's a sad thing to say for the game, but there's no consequences to waiting. You know, you're just getting what the game is offering you on the daily or whatever events are going through. But the main thing I wanted to point out for the players who might be at my point in the game is breakstones and um awakening pathing. Like, try to think about what units you need and the path that you have to take before you go and buy something, or you got to check all of the shops. Like right now, I'm on track for my four triple S's that I need for my 240 break, but my last triple S, my fourth triple S is the hardest. Like, but I've recently got my Mad Ryu in a path, because now that the Akuma shop has Mad Ryu in it, I might just save my orbs and buy the Mad Ryu to secure the unit, and then just go back onto the idle plan for breakstones. Like, that might not be as efficient as I need breakstones right now from the orb shop, or like the tarot this past week wasn't as good as the last time, but it still had 24-hour breakstones, 24-hour EXP. And so I bought those, and because the 24-hour potions are really good. But the main thing is the hurdles. The main hurdle as free to play that I found is obtaining the units and your pathing for your food and stuff. But it is an interesting concept to just use A ranks as food if you're pushing for a certain direction, or if you want to get to a certain place. As a player, you're trying to get to another place in the game. Like, I want to get these guys awakened and fighting soul now. And that's fine to want that, but you're gonna have to expect a certain point downtime in between that, because you're committing resources to the units instead of committing resources to feeding the units, if that makes sense. Like, you're
Yeah,
committing to a different
Yeah,
path.
you gotta make you gotta
I think that's what this
choose
whole
what your
conversation is.
consequences are.
Yeah. There was a long-winded response for, like, what kind of player are you? How efficient do you really want to be? Are you chasing leaderboards? Are you trying to spend a little money and get there? You might, but when you're trying to be efficient and you're spending money, that's probably a really hard distinction. Like, if I'm gonna spend for packs, I feel like the grants are your best bang for your buck because of the raw materials it gives you for your money, instead of just gems, or
To be
like
to be
instead of just
honest,
pools.
that could be its own debate separately, because
Yeah.
realistically, um, it again depends on the player. Because I remember having a conversation with one whale where I asked him, I was like, "Do you regret like whaling and like making purchases in general and stuff like that?" He was like, "No, I mean I enjoyed the game. I wanted to spend money and stuff like that." But
Yeah,
he
that's the
he
kind of player that he is.
yeah, but he was like, the regret that I do have is what I purchased on. He's like, I would have still spent the same money. It's just that with my experience now, I would have spent the same money on different things and have my account probably be double in power. And I asked him, at that time, I was like, all right, tell me what would you have not bought and what would you have bought? He's like, I'm not gonna say what I bought, but what I would have bought was resources. He was like, the poison packs, they are the most dangerous packs in the game because of how efficient and effective they are for their price and what they give you in terms of resources. You got to make sure you are selecting the ones that give you mats like the EXP, the money, and the breakstones. Obviously, the breakstones are probably the most number one thing. And he was like, anytime I saw a breakstone after he learned, and he still spends money now, he was like, anytime I see a package that has breakstones, I buy it. And it's just off of GP alone, because of how much and how long it takes for that to build up if you're not spending money.
Yeah, the value of your dollar goes farther. Like, buying fashion Sakura, I'm not sure spending $50 on a unit that you barely see, or $100 now because the discount timer is expired on my server, or at least where I'm at in the game. It's like I don't think I could ever spend $50 or $100 on that type of unit. But if you told me, it was like, oh, listen, we can help you get like triple S faction coin. Like you get a coin that lets you triple S a character for $100. I'd seriously consider it, like, but not straight up for fashion Sakura. But it's I think a lot of people who spend a little bit and expecting to get a lot. That's a hard conversation to have. But the free to play guys, it's hard to make a decision because everybody wants to be so efficient. Like, oh, should I buy this? It's like, no, just if you're free to play, you're not in it to chase or race or outbeat it. You're just trying to make your decisions based on what you need at the time. Like, oh, I'm free to play. I just started. I'm 3 days in. What should I be doing? I was like, well, we don't know what you're gonna pull from your faction coins that you're gonna get, or your path is going to be different because of the stuff that you get from arcade coins, faction coins, or even when you get to 1540, that's when a lot of the efficiency comes into play. Like, have you been saving your gems to 1540 for divination? Like, that's one thing I wish that I was doing before.
It's a trap, though.
I
That's
got
that.
there. Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing, man. With divination, I that's another one that like grinds my gears because like it's such a needed thing, but it sucks at the same time. Cause
Oh yes.
I was like, I didn't get to divination before Monster Hunter can. So I was like, I put it in my head. I was like, if I get to divination before Monster Hunter can, I'm gonna pull for Bison. If I don't, this was before we were all naive and we're hoping. I was like, I'll pull for Monster Hunter can. Yeah, we all know
Yes.
how that happened. And then
Yes,
I
that's
raged.
exactly the time.
Yeah, I used Monster Hunter Ken to push the 1540, and then I rage pulled in divination. I was like, screw Monster Hunter Ken, I'm pulling for Bison. One of the
I had a
worst
good core at the
mistakes
time.
I've made ever in my account, because I only got Bison up to like S plus, and I spent like 75K. It's not a lot. I didn't spend a lot, but I was like, I did want to do regular pulls. That was my other mistake. I split my pulls. If you're gonna do divination,
Yeah.
do it all the way. Rip that band-aid off and just dive in cannonballs and just like completely waste all your gems on divination, or do regular pulls. Cause
Yeah.
it sucks either way. At least for me, RNG is not on my side. So now back to the original topic of efficiency and effectiveness on the account, and in terms of whaling and not whaling, and the effectiveness of your dollar. Because like I know in different regions, some packages are more expensive for the our European friends and those outside of North America. I'm sorry, I know it's expensive. I think a bison pack was 130 instead of 100 for you guys. I don't know if anyone has experience with that direct. The packs are actually being researched right now. There we have a couple of people gathering information, and hopefully we'll determine what the overall value of these packages are, and hopefully we could share it to the community and let you guys know like this package is good, this package is bad. I was talking about it before that the poison packages are what seems to be a better value in terms of what to get, and the poison packages that have the materials such as experience, money,
It's hard to
and
it's hard to
breakstone.
quantify it too, because like other people like, so I always bring this up, and I know it's getting repetitive, but Marvel Snap does real something. Their economy is quantifiable, like gold credits and boosters and variants and stuff. So like if you could quantify the materials in Street Fighter Duel to a dollar amount, it's almost better if somebody could break it down. If like a lot of mathematics, I'm probably not good at. So they yeah, you there's we have to quantify what how much a breakstone is worth before we could attempt to give value to the packs.
Yeah.
Okay, Zengi. Pika made a good video actually about like refreshing the bounties for like 7K breakstones for like 50 diamonds per. So then that's also another way to get, boost your breakstone income with the current event. 200% solo bounty.
Is that actually worth it though?
Yeah, I mean you get 7K. I mean, Pika, you're getting 7K breakstone, right? Per day
10K
for
every day. Yeah, it's 200% bonus. So it's originally 250, I think, or 500. I don't remember, but you have 200% bonus on these for I don't know how much. It have been for 3 days like this. So every day I'm having 7K breakstones.
Yeah, that's another good way to get breakstone income. And also, Zangief, this is like way back. You were about to buy what you call it, Mad Ryu for the orbs thing. I mean, you're basically we were talking about how like money converts to like if you're a whale, you spend like on the correct packs. This is also like you can see the orbs as like your dollars. I wouldn't buy a Mad Ryu because that costs, if you look at the conversions with the normal summon tickets, that's like 50 summon tickets or one Mad Ryu. Like obviously you would want the Mad Ryu. You get like a bunch of the B fodders. You might get the Mad Ryu itself over here, and you also get the chest over here.
Yeah, man, that's one thing I want to like. I I know sometimes we sound like a broken record, but the things that we repeat over and over and over is because those are the core values that you should continuously do in terms of progressing your account constantly. And the biggest thing is whenever an event rolls out, don't just start buying things willy nilly. Obviously, look at what's on the list. Materials should always be number one thing that you want to purchase. But here's the thing that I do want to put like a caveat or a context that would be the little bat on the shoulder. Also think of your account. So like how you were talking about don't get the Mad Ryu, I can understand, yes, you maybe not want to get Mad Ryu, but like let's say that Fei Long, like for me, in my I'll use my personal example, I've been wanting Fei Long. But that Fei Long on that list, it looks mighty tasty because it will immediately allow me to have gotten it to SS. But I thought about it and I was like, these breakstones and these materials, hell, even the B cards are awesome. The re-engraving for the gear, like that's also amazing. Like take into consideration where you are with your account. Like don't do what I did because I thought gear was stats. Like I thought the stats were random and I was like looking for crit on all of the gear, and I learned the hard way. No, they're all the same. So I put my account like at least a month or two behind by not getting red gear. I would have been had red gear on all my characters if I didn't wait. That's a
Yeah,
lot of
exactly.
breakstones. Yeah.
Like going back to the bounty thing that Pika shared with the picture over here. Like Pika did 13 refreshes for 50 gems. That's okay, that's 500 and then plus 150, so 650 gems just to get these additional breakstones. And I was buying stuff from the general shop for like 500 or 400 breakstones for like 300 gems or 400 gems. So it's definitely worth the price that it is. It might be daunting, but you gotta take it, like take the whole picture.
For those that are listening in the podcast, the image that is shared is the bounty. There's a button on the lower left hand corner of the bounty. It says refresh. I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong, you said it's 50 gems per refresh.
Yeah.
And you want to basically the whole concept and idea is you're solely looking for breakstones, and if it's at 200%, you're gonna the breakstones will be 1,000 breakstones is what you should get at the end. So you'll keep refreshing until you keep seeing the breakstones. hit deploy on the breakstones and keep refreshing until you basically deploy all breakstones. That's the concept of the image that's being shown. We see 1,000 breakstones that are being gathered over the time. So that's just another way to min max gathering resources and stuff like that in terms of breakstones.
Yeah, I mean, as free to play, you want to get to 240. It's really a game changer. You start to go ahead, Pika.
This is the refresh is my bounty level is 5. As free to play, I don't think. Did you get it to level 6? 6
No, I
or
have it like
7?
5. I mean, the thing is, it's also RNG. How? Let me go.
Yeah, because of
RNG
the
get
team.
the team bounty or not. Like you
So
can't.
if you get level 6 or level 7, I think it's 1,000 for triple S. So 1,000 by 200%. That would be more than what we get now. So it's not 7,000. It will be 14,000 gravestones for the people who are already there. I think so. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think so too. I mean, I've been buying the. I don't know if there's breakstone here. No, but yeah, the breakstones in the general store. I generally buy them. I buy all the breakstone because getting to 240 is like a major focus, and like doing it for cheaper in the bounty thing. Yeah, it's a good value.
And for those that are not aware, the game there's in the game that we're currently playing in Street Fighter Duels, we have two variations. There's pre 240 and post 240. And you may ask, what's so big of a difference? Boy, oh boy, can we tell you. Before, it's very simple. You're pushing to get 1540, you can get in divination, you get in breakstones, and you're like, oh man, 13,000 breakstones is so hard. Oh man, 12,000 breakstones is so hard. No, it gets worse. And then once you get to 240, you're right there at the top of the hill, and you're waiting for a long ass freaking time to break the 240 barrier. And then once you do so, I will actually ask one of the two that or anyone that's available past 240 to clarify on what does it look past that hill.
So I have an account for he's 401. Now breakstones are not the problem anymore. They're the issue. The cash and the XP are the issue.
There you go. Cash
I
and
mean, by
XP is
I
that
He's
mean,
at 401. He told me at 370, something like that. He started having big problems when idling just to get the XP and the cash. Yeah.
how much is the cash per level past 240?
I will check again, but I think it's like 900 million for one level. I forgot, but I'll check it.
I mean, currently for level 280 where I'm sitting, it costs 1.7 million per node, and you times it by 10, so it's like 17 million just for one level for cash. For EXP, it's 10 million per for 280, and you do that 10 times, so it's around like 100 mil.
That's a
Per
lot.
level.
How many
And
days
that's
of
and that's only at
idling?
200 or whatever level you're at, right? That's low level.
Yeah, 280. It's barely 300.
I'm sorry, I cut someone off.
Yeah, and how many days of idling is it, Tix?
Okay, so I had some chests, but then I popped it. I had like like 5 days or 5 to 6 days worth of EXP chest, and I got like 50 million only. So that's half of a level.
Ooh.
Wait, okay, I
Crimson
did the
Crimson just
calculation
shared
for
an
my account.
image just for those.
How much 800 million will get me? 800 million XP.
Okay, so you gotta keep in mind, right, that once you reach 240, all your resources are coming back. So you're gonna be over, over that 800 million EXP. It's probably gonna be like, I don't know how much, like maybe 3,000 extra from the refund or 2,000. But you're gonna definitely get all the resources that you invested 240 for, all of them back. So okay, so what happened was you reach, once you get 240, you get enough resources to go all the way up to like 267 or 268 for free from all the resources that is refunded, and then past that is the amount that you saved beforehand.
When you hit 240, the amount back, how many levels can you upgrade?
What'd you say?
So when you get the stuff back, you're able to upgrade levels afterwards, right?
Yeah,
How many
right
levels
away.
does it give you off the bat?
So you go from 240 to 267 ish, or a little 268, either one of them. So you're basically getting 28 levels for free
Okay.
from all the refund.
Oh, that's cool.
And then past that is the amount that exp and cash that you have that you saved, because you when you're going for the breakstones, you had like a bunch of exp chests just laying around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then with those, you like, for the breakstone wise, you would have enough until you reach 300, a little bit under, like the lower end of 300. You'll have enough breakstones, so you don't need to farm that
So
from the refund that you get.
So question is, it does your outlook of resources change once you hit 240? So because like we're always, so like just recently I was saying, in the events, get materials and so on and so forth. So for players that once they reach 240, is that the same, or are you changing your focus on B unit tickets and gear tickets? Like what is your focus once you hit 240? Is it still material? Because you're saying is like the grind is not the same realistically.
It is still, like, if the Terrat event still comes around, I would still buy all of the resources, because at a certain point the breakstone would also be needed later on. So then having stockpiled now, with the Terrat event, if it does come around, if we had the third one, I would still buy all the resources. Like, the cash is always useful for each level. The XP is basically your next breakstone. Like, you'll value EXP like really really much. And for the breakstones, you get enough for the refund for a while, but then at a certain point, you're gonna go back to going for breakstones again. So resources is still always priority over any other. But then when you're later on in the game, a lot of people don't like to buy this, or like people say like, just buy the gears right off the bat with the faction in the guild shop. But then everyone values this differently, but I value the recast scrolls like quite highly, because you only get that from events or the weekly stuff. So you can't buy it from gems or with cash or anything like that. So the value just became like quite scarce, and the impact that it has, it's 30 stats, like for the stats that you get from the gear. So it's like, if you have 10% damage reduction, that's an additional 3% damage reduction just from the right faction. So those recasting became like one of my top priorities. Summons also, but resources is still far above everything else.
So, hey, Tix, with the recast tickets, provided that we do end up getting the Hammer Bop event, I think it's like every 10 stages in the Hammer Bop, you get like, I think it's like 12 recast tickets if you choose the recast out of that option.
Yeah,
versus like 4 in some of the other events.
Yeah, because
for what you're getting.
I don't know if it's across the board the same for RNG in terms of recasting, but I spent like 5 recast tickets on one equipment just to get fire.
Either you could get lucky or you could get terribly unlucky.
Okay.
Like I got in one on 3 pieces of gear, and I'm like, sick. It only cost me 3, but then the piece of gear after that cost me like 9.
Yeah.
Is it-
Okay. Okay. I thought I was just like really bad luck because holy cow! Just for fire, I can understand if I'm looking for Inferno or Master or whatever, but like, come on, man, my Dawson needs this extra
Kinda-
10k damage.
What kind of rates are we expecting? Are we expecting like an even split between the factions or as a percentage?
I mean, I don't know the general rates, but if there's 4 factions that you're re-rolling from, it's probably like 25% to get it per recast if you're distributing it evenly, right? So
Would
I
be
would
six including legendary and 7. Does it go blank?
Legendary's
Like if
not
you
on the
recast a
list.
faction,
Legendary's
of
not on there.
years,
Legendary's not on the list. That's the one. That's the other thing.
legendary's not on the game. I'm
No.
thinking of cars.
Not if you
Not if
use
you
the
not
tickets.
if you're
No.
respecing. Yeah, that's the other thing that like I love about
Oh, it
legendaries,
sucks.
but I also hate about legendaries. Like, yeah, I can
You have
triple S
to-
it and chain it, but to get a legendary gear is almost impossible.
Boy.
It's
So
I've
you
yet
have
to
to
get one.
you have to drop it at legendary. You cannot recast for
You have to
legendary.
drop
So
it or
it's-
buy it at
It's
legendary.
Infernal Master, and the 5 factions. So it's 1 out of 5.
Yeah,
no, because you're not
That's 1 of
re-rolling
4.
for the
Yeah.
same.
1 out of 4
you're not
because you're not
rolling
counting legendary.
Yeah.
Wait, no, the
Infernal
fire,
Master.
wind,
No,
lightning.
Infernal
But it
Master,
doesn't,
Inferno
it also
Master,
doesn't
5.
count the
Yeah,
one
it's
that you
5.
currently have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't count the one you currently have. That's true. So technically
4.
4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
it can't. The reroll ticket doesn't blank a faction, right? Like that's
No.
No.
It'll always give you a faction.
thing. Okay, thank God.
But what you
So that
can
would be
do
tilting
is
if it
approve it.
blanked it.
Yeah, what you can do is you can approve it or deny it. So even if you got a new faction, you don't have to approve it. It'll stay the old faction if you'd rather have that one.
Oh, okay, that's great. That's
Like
great
if you want to give
information.
it to another unit or whatever, and you're like, nah, I was just wanting to try to get fire or whatever, you could just like
Yeah.
not change it.
So like with at the point where Tix is at, and I call these things hurdles, like the 1540 hurdle to get to divination, or like the 240 hurdle to get to upgrade your dojo, and like the first 2 hurdles are just breakstones, right? And then even into well after 240, you're still doing exp and money, so that's another hurdle. So at what? So I guess Tix is well into the 30 chapters. So the hurdle that he's jumped over where his dojo is at, he's only now tuning his characters. He's not building his roster. He's tuning what he has.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
at that point, you have to. Well, it depends. I guess it depends on luck and your overall goal as well. Because I know some people tune first in terms of priority of their team, because without having the power on their team, they can't push past the levels of like 240 and such.
Yeah, it's a really delicate balance when the question of efficiency comes, because I still level up. I have S gear for my Dulcim, and like I have S gear for my Elena, because they're the same. They're both agility, and then I have F Blanca coming up. So I'm using my gems here and there during Shadowloo or when the gear goes on sale. So that way, at least my gem spending is a little bit more efficient. And it's like I'm slowly inching towards that gear progression and tuning progression, but I'm not re-rolling the factions yet, or I'm not even engraving my stuff yet, because I'm saving the engravings for later. I'm not even at 240 yet, to be honest.
The engravings are definitely handy before 240, provided you're using them, say, at least I think, on your primary actual prime carry DPS.
100%.
It's worth bringing.
Yeah.
It's worth bringing their trinket, like the ring or whatever, their necklace up, and their gloves up. Shoes if you
100%.
value crit rate, but I would say ring and gloves first, and then after that, if you need them with more HP, then you can start doing your shoes and your jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, so like
Go ahead.
chest piece would be chest piece, and feet are low priority, but accessory and gloves are high priority. Just in the idea of maximizing your DPS's potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to tell you: try to play Bison without boots and without chest.
I do that sometimes. Sometimes it's very valuable doing that.
It's
Or just
better damage. It's better damage.
make him less tanky so that
Yeah, so he'll
like
explode
make
more.
him
Exactly.
less tanky.
However,
to
I
bomb
do
more
find
often.
it's a fine balance because his explosions potentially can mess up your just overall combo order, even though he might not be in your chain. Just him doing random explosions
Sucks. Yes.
kind of could mess up your timing.
Yes.
So what I usually do is I'll try it, and if I feel like I need him to explode a little bit more just to eke out a little bit extra damage, I'll take off both. And I find he's exploding too much, I'll put on one or the other and then see how it feels.
I think that might be a little bit extra, or I might be too lazy. I just time my ultimates a little bit differently because for Bison in terms of Dawson, he pushes them out of Dawson's
Yeah.
ult, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, no, stop it, please! You just wasted all my damage. And I'm just like, I want to kill Bison so much sometimes, but yeah, it definitely a timing thing.
I mean, a lot of things can play a role, right? Like if your Bison gets crit, if not, like just having the gear and having no gear is just to see, like, if you want a DPS, if there's a DPS check, you definitely don't want you want him to explode all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people need to also understand. I hope y'all. I'm gonna throw this out there. This might make people a little bit salty. Bison is not a tank by design. He is
he's not
a
default
power
a tank. No.
attacker. I want y'all to understand this. This is not for the people in this call. This is for everyone. This is a personal service announcement. Bison, I repeat, is not a tank by design. He is a power attacker DPS. Yes, he does have a kit that makes him immortal. Yes, people use him as a tank. But he is, by design, an attack DPS. So if you're like, man, I'm missing some damage, guess what? That's because you're not using Bison right.
Sir Turtle, he's also by design a supporter.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Thank you for throwing that out there. Raise Bison's fighting spirit to plus 20 minimum, people. So you can. I'm gonna throw this out there. If for the math heads, for the min maxers, plus 20% damage for the whole team. I repeat, plus 20% damage for the whole team. So Bison is a tank, a DPS, and a support. That is why that man is $100.
Yeah, I went from after I got I had my Bison at SS, but my fighting soul wasn't 20. As soon as the fighting soul hit 20, I went from chapter 1740 all the way to 1920, like on auto, just autoing. Like I didn't put it was just brainless. It was so crazy how great that works.
It's drastic. Just a little percent, because like, and mind you, that's a 20% jump. I felt it when I did Fade Long at a 12% jump on Burn and Fire. I was melting the world. And then when I got Bison to SSS, on top of that, I was just like, oh my god. I accelerated to, like, I'm now on 27. It's insane from where I was at 25. So like, yeah, it's a lot.
I decided to push my Bison's fighting spirit to that 30. That everybody being able to trigger shadow attack is stupid.
Does it make a difference?
You see the numbers just go. Like, I guess it depends on your team, but like when I'm using somebody like Chun and all that, somebody fast attacking, a lot of hits, you see them numbers just go.
Wait, it goes
like,
off
it's
per
crazy.
hit?
Per hit.
Oh my god, now I got it.
Yeah, so like single chunky guys, like you get that extra burst of 10%, but like all these people who attack fast or do multiple hits, it really stacks up.
Dawson's Ender does 6 hits. F Blanca's opener does 4 hits. Oh man.
And also Bizeng's spin actually now stabs the opponents. Like before he was tickling them, right? Now he's at least just poking them.
Yeah.
Oh man. So if you're doing if a character's doing at least 3 hits, that's, I think, would be the most efficient, because you're noticeably triggering after 3 hits.
Yeah. I would honestly say if you have a Bison that's capable of using his fighting spirit, I would say plus 30 is completely worth it after experiencing it. Completely worth it.
I actually would have done Bison plus 30 before Guile, but then I was a little bit stubborn since he's my main DPS.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's probably the correct order. Go Bison first, and then go Guile, or go your DPS.
Your main DPS.
You have another buffer. You have another buffer that we got. Not everybody now, the new players have him. It's Ken. Even at a copy, he have a 25% plus damage.
Oh
He's the
yeah,
first
on the
big buffer
passive.
in the game.
Are you talking Monster Hunter Ken?
Yeah, the
Yes,
Dragon
he's the
Rage curse.
first-
Yeah, Dragon Rage. Yeah,
he,
that's
has the
insane.
biggest, he has the biggest buff in the game. After
Mhm.
that, you have Bison, then you have Street Poison. No, you have Rose, then three Poison. But Rose
So
is a big investment.
I could swap my I'll have Elena at tag. Dhalsim is my main DPS. I have Bisangif at 2, and then I have Bison at point. So like you're saying if I swap out Elena for Monster Hunter Ken at A rank,
Yes.
like that could be a good way to pass DPS check.
Yes,
That's pretty
yes.
awesome.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, easily.
absolutely.
Monster Hunter Ken
Provided
buffs
you can
your-
survive,
your-
then yeah.
he buffs your team for on let me tell you the exact number. On chapter 24, he buffed my damage 8 million. Everybody did 8 million in total more, and he did on his own 4 million damage
And
at A rank.
if you're stacking with Beast and Give, it allows you to prevent the enemy team from breaking the buff while you break the
Exactly.
buff on yourself
Mhm.
and allowing you to maintain damage. So that's the other like caveat that people need to understand. This is where like the topic of Beast and Give, it keeps recurring on how busted he is. Bison and Beast and Give are like the two units. They are them.
Beast Zangief is also for all Guile users. He's a must-have because you need not only to interrupt, but to stack them all together so he hits his C3.
Same thing with Sea
Six knows
Viper.
about it.
Sea Viper also needs the
Yeah.
the
But
everything
the
brought in.
difference between Sea Viper and Guile, Sea Viper distribute the damage among them, while Guile does the same damage to all of them.
He stacks them on
Mhm.
top. Dawson
Yeah.
doesn't have that problem. He
So-
doesn't really care.
So if it's a 12 million damage from the C3 from the Guile, it's 3 million to every single one of them. But if it's 13 million from Viper, if they're all stacked up together, it go distributed. It divides by 3 on all of them. That's the difference between them.
So that's where I think we should make it known, because like everyone's like likes to say who's better or whatever. They work differently while doing the same job. Gaio must
Yes.
have them stacked on together, while Sea Viper is a little bit more forgiving in terms of how she distributes her damage. And I
She
would
is
like
a
to,
nuker.
as a biased person, I'm gonna throw his name out into the ring. Dawson don't need nobody. His burn goes through everybody. So that's the. But I will I will bow my hat in terms of damage. Guile and Viper do more outright. Dawson he's a slow worker. He likes to build it up and make sure you're caressed
Exactly.
and kissed. He likes to make sure you're taken care of by his fire.
I don't want to say Dalsim is overrated, but Dalsim works in a different way. Dalsim is an overtime
Yeah,
unit.
you
Burn
have to be
overtime.
patient.
It's damage overtime.
If you want to
Exactly.
slap somebody in the face, Guile. If you want to nuke somebody in the backline, Viper. But if you want to whisper sweep nothing and watch the world burn, Dawson.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna say one of the funnest I think to play, just when I'm progressing or whatever, I think it's a lot of fun. But Chun, her ability to generate meter just offers a lot of really fun, sort of like unique positions to put yourself in, like being able to double combo while you're waiting for, the next interrupt, or if you see a point that you could like kill, she like enables you to have enough meter that you can just like burst out 3 combos before they get their
Exactly.
next ones off, and then end the
Exactly.
match there.
Chun is
I want to
scary.
add something with Chun-Li, she's the only character in the game that would allow you to use your combo and then use your combo again and successfully interrupt with a good timing.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so I
She's the
know
only
a
one that can do
whale
that.
that their DPS is purely Chun, not Guile, not anyone else, and he uses her to like chapter 35 or higher or whatever, and the thing that uh he made note of is her her damage lives or dies if she crits. Her crit
Yeah.
is disgusting. You delete anyone and everyone. But if she doesn't crit, the enemy team just laughs at her tickles.
Well, if you put Cammy on Bison and he's exploding, and you put Guile on Chun, if you open with her, by the time she's done, she should have saber stacks to be able to do a lot of extra damage, especially to the point
because she's ranged.
with
Yeah.
I want
she's
to
ranged on her opener.
So I want to double back to Bison Fighting Soul plus 30. So you're telling me that if Bison is at Fighting Soul plus 30 or Fighting Spirit plus 30, and Chun Li used his Sukyaku, and then like all of those hits from her kick will trigger.
All those
insane.
extra hits get an
That's
extra
insane.
10%. It's disgusting.
Yeah, so that's where you have to take into consideration, because a lot of people don't really they see a super and they're just like, oh, it's a super. And no, each hit matters. Each hit matters. And like, I'll throw Dawson as an example. When he hits Fighting Spirit 30, every hit is 100% burn stack. He does 6 hits. That's 6 burn stacks. And if you're a fire user, or if you know Beast Fashion Blanca, every stack can trigger wildfire, and then all the other wildfires can trigger off to another wildfire for other teams. So and then every burn triggers another burn when Dalsum is FF30. So you can literally just burn everything while just doing one super.
So it's like less like a snowball and more like a lava ball.
You have certain heroes in the game as So there's 2 types of fighters we have in the game: the slow, what do you call slow building up, and the fast building up. Slow building up is like Makoto, Charming Dudley, and others, and which are you need time to build them up with their abilities, and it takes time. And so far in the game, in the early game, it's not that much. Maybe when defensive mechanics are more have been exploited and explained, I myself didn't try them to their limit. You have others like Dalsim, Fashion Blanca that go burn, but the burn ticks faster than building up your stacks of defense. So this is why they are one of the good characters. There's a difference between them.
To piggyback off of that, I remember in one of his videos, Sion talks about scaling. You could think about that in another terms, where like dots for any game in general, like especially if you stack, it is a progressive scale. So at 1 stack, you're doing 1%, and then so on and so forth. Math, you do 5, 10%, whatever the case may be. So where Dalsum may be let's say 100 power off the battle start, but because of his burn, he could easily reach 500, 1,000 power because of that. So take into consideration of that, like characters who immediately impact the fight versus characters who do need a build up, like Dawson or Mikado.
Exactly. You need to consider speed. Speed is everything in PvP. If you have fun. But if you have a lineup with Dalsim in PvP, remember he's one of the slowest characters, and your enemy will start before you. If you're both having B Zangief on your team and everything having fast chant, they will start before you. You can't rack up these damage. He's squishy if he doesn't evade.
Also, Pika, don't forget that cars, some of them, the boost is actually speed. So the first. If you see the character speed is super low, you gotta look in the cars if actually speed awakens in it.
Every hero gets a speed boost in the cars.
Some of them don't.
There's 3 cars that gives. There are 3 cars in every fighter that gives speed, or 2 cars. I forgot. I read it. I forgot the number, but there's 100% at least 1 or 2 cars to speed you up for the characters always.
And,
The
okay.
motorcycle, I think, and the truck, if I'm not mistaken.
Not always, because if you look at the characters trial, some of them actually you can see their the cars that they have, and actually okay, this 104 speed. Guile's pretty slow. Cammy's 133. I don't know if she has cars in it, or is it just naturally?
No, she scales only. Yeah,
Got
she scales.
And okay, and then if you go, you see those characters don't have speed in them, and if you go to like I think the crap also not the crap the crappie this girl she also has she
Or
has
DiCaprio, bro.
she has speed in one of her cars, and also like Bison, so the perceived speed at the start it could change with cars. So Bison's naturally like super slow, but he becomes like normal speed with the introduction of his motorcycles.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
think everybody gets speed.
I didn't know that.
No?
Here's what's interesting. When I look at Chun and DiCaprio, they're both assassin class. When I'm looking at their cars, their assassin bonus gives completely different things. DiCaprio gets speed, Chun doesn't. Actually, wait, no, she does. Right here. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah,
She
I think
does
Chun
right
is
there.
the naturally fastest unit.
Yeah, like my Chun's speed right now, just standing here looking at her in menu, is 35.
So not to tear away from this topic, I just want to answer Ice Snipe because it also includes speed and Cammy and stuff like that. He asked, why do I place Emryu on over Cammy on my tier list? Considering her synergy with Guile and her assist, I was surprised to see her so low. So she is A. I was thinking of putting her in S to SS. The only thing here's the one thing is that overall in the community, single target is valued a lot lower versus AoE. So then when I pit Emryu versus Cammy, I push Emryu slightly above Cammy because he's a pseudo AoE in terms of machine gunning, and that's the biggest push for Emryu is that when he does kill someone and his machine gun goes off, he just repeatedly fires off over and over and over and over and over. It the Hadouken spam, I would take that over Cammy, primarily because Cammy needs her combo to do something. Mad Ryu just literally just needs someone to die for him to Hadouken spam, as well as like his overall damage output is in that Hadouken spam is higher. But again, Cammy, I do want to push up to S to SSS. I'm not sure where.
Cammy goes to different target too.
Yeah,
when she kills somebody.
She does, like that's the other thing why I think I'm gonna change her to SSS is because Cammy fits in a lot of places in terms of because she's good at his assist, because she's good at just boss slaying and stuff like that. Makes sense, I suppose. He just quit spamming for me. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm also noticing is people are now saying that Cammy still impacts the higher the stages are. So you probably will be seeing my tier list switch where Mad Ryu drops and Cammy raises. But as of right now, where Mad Ryu stands, he's still unique in the terms of the gameplay versus other units because of the machine gun capability.
I mean, if we're talking about like the end game side of things, like obviously like AoE is king, but then with her, like there's gonna be a certain point where like flat out just damage multipliers with some of the characters have cannot outscale like what you said with burn, or with her it's armor break. Like maybe the impact of the full AoE is probably less than just a single character, ignoring most of the defense from just armor break.
Yeah, that exactly. Like that's where you have to determine what you're looking for in that fight, because I know every one of us have had a Cammy in one full combo rotation delete our team. Obviously, we're talking about enemy units and they're cracked out in general, but like that is a potential of what a fully built out unit can be at SSS, whatever, blah 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 blah. Because like I know Pika, he was like, Viper with the Capri deletes a unit, and realistically, yeah, it would delete a unit. The other thing, one thing I don't like about the Capri is that it's not 100%. Unless it gets eventually 100%. But there's been times where I'm like, oh yeah, the unit's gonna get deleted and they stay alive. And I'm like, the
You
Capri,
need
you're
Viper for her
useless.
to work. You need Viper. She scales. The Capri scales a lot. Yeah, you almost nuke any unit with Viper. If she doesn't kill them, the Capri kill them. When the Capri kills somebody with her exclusive and cars, she buffs herself massively. And she goes after the second unit, it's a complete death. She will kill the second unit no matter what.
Is it 100% the execute?
Not 100%, below 60% of their HP. After you build her up, it's at the start below 40%.
Yeah.
Viper will get them below 40%. On my fire tower, whoa, I assessed the Capri before Viper. She's my main carry for fire tower.
I suck at towers. I'm not gonna lie. I forget about the other elemental towers, so I'm like so far behind. Which one is
She's
your
good.
best tower?
Not the best, of course, not the best. My best tower is with Cammy. I one-shot anything with Cammy. Like, I don't even wait for stuns with Bizang. I don't use Bizang in the tower. I use him to buff Cammy because he have high stats. I put him as assist on her.
That's the other thing. It that I here's the I'm one of those units where I'm one of those people where
I'm on 180.
yeah, no,
I think,
I'm one of those people
tower.
where like I understand the benefits of Beast Zangief, but I hate Beast Zangief because everyone uses him, and the game forces you to use him if you want to push. But here's the thing.
Hold up.
Wait. Let me put a context. If you want to push very hard, you have to use Beast Zangief.
There you go.
I wanted to put that context because like I push on my account. I don't use my main account. I don't use Beast Zangief. I douse him. I Elena. I burn the world, but I'm also not facing matches that are like 3 times my power.
Yeah. So like yeah. So I'm saying like as long as you're progressing, I guess like more quote unquote naturally, Beast Zangief is way less of a priority. But if you're pushing as hard as some of us nerds, then
my only thing I think would be better. I don't know if it would be better or worse for the game if we had maybe 3 Beast Zangiefs of different elements. Allow team diversities. So, give different units the ability to stun or interrupt. Let people.
That sounds nice, but what it would turn into is like all the hardcore heads finding the optimal way to use all 3.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said I was like, I don't know if it would be good for the game or bad for the game. Because that's the thing. I'm not stupid. I understand if you remove what everyone's using, they're just gonna find something else. Like that. I understand that. That's a given. So like I'm not saying like more Zangiefs. Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is like more because it's like how like we want more fires, more burns, or more speed units, more battery units. It allows more diversity. But then I do guess what you're saying is like yeah, but then everyone would just use nonstop interrupt, and then it would make the boredom even more.
I wouldn't say everybody. I would just say like the super hardcore heads.
Well, here's the thing. I'm starting to notice that even casuals lean towards Beast Zangief. Like,
Are
really,
we talking casuals everywhere? Because I feel like people who use Discord and
no.
Reddit
If
aren't
if, if
exactly the
you
most casual.
if you here's the thing, take
Eu tô entendendo, cara.
look at what's it called,
Right,
leaderboards
so
and stuff like that.
Okay.
I guess
Okay, yeah.
the point was is like Zangief does something that only he inherently does. So it's like it's hard to promote diversity when you have a unit that stuns and interrupts combos
Look, example, Tix
as
is
well as
showing
he
it.
does.
Tix is showing it right now. Sorry
But
to
so
interrupt.
introducing more characters to do entire teams. No, you're good.
So Tix is showing it. He's literally showing the lineups. Beast and Geef is in lineups from early game all the way up to post challenge 30. Like from level 1, from chapter 1 to all the way up to post, like he's used. Like everyone
Yeah.
sees how good he is. The more, and the other thing is like people see it in the, what's it called, trial, not the trial, when you're challenging, you could see the
What people
lineups
are
of
using.
other people, and most of them are Cody or Beast Zangief. Cody's another one, but he's not as busted as Beast Zangief.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's
Nah,
see
it's
something real quick.
you run into the problem if like somebody creates a stall team, or so that's what happens in competitive Pokemon battling is every time a new stall type Pokemon comes out, it just ruins the competitive meta because you can do timer stall. Pokemon Company has gotten better at not promoting that type of battle where you're just using tanky Pokemon that heal themselves or things of that nature. But every time a new tanky Pokemon comes out, the meta shifts to the online meta is like 160 or I think it's 180-second timer for moves and stuff. So like there's a timer to play a competitive game. Like you're not being held hostage for 30 minutes, but people still try to do so. you know. So like having Beast Zangief as only one unit, they can control its impact with one because they can always nerf him, right? If he becomes a problem.
Well,
But the thing is
I don't want to
he's not
promote nerfing.
Aren't there other units that can do an interrupt? It's just he happens to be the most reliable.
He's
Like
the most
Yeah.
reliable and AoE impacting, because you got like Makoto, you have
yeah, I was gonna say Makoto does,
and
She's like
he moves the whole team too.
Yeah.
Like when your opponent's team is spread out, he can move the entire team to one point also very well.
There's one thing though that I know we're not supposed to compare or whatever, but one thing that Cyan brought up in his recent video is that there's, was it, it's counter stun, anti stun, or like effect resistances or stun resistances in these other regions. That is,
well, T-Hawk has that. If you CC
but
T-Hawk, he's
apparently
able
over there
to
in
do other
general, all the units have it's a stat that each unit has. Some are more better at resisting than others, apparently. And from my understanding, it's not here. Everyone is just like it
No,
gets
we have it here.
interrupted.
It's called effect resist.
Oh, okay. So like,
We have it here.
who has the highest
I'm looking-
effect resist? Because that the thing is like it seems Beast and there's no counter there. Like you are not. He's stopping everyone. Even those units that they're like, oh, I'm not interruptible like Cammy, he stops them.
Or jury.
Adon can stop him.
No. Bizagi can't stop anybody that says immune or interruptible. They can't be interrupted. You think you interrupted them. You interrupted somebody else. You think the interrupt is for them. It's impossible to interrupt them. We tried it on slow-mo, on fast. You can't interrupt immune unit. End of story.
Man, I wish the doctor was around to counter you, because he apparently does that classes.
Many people will go for days. Like, no, I can interrupt them. I'll show you. It's a frame second and
I'm
stuff.
not
No, you
denying.
can't
I'm not
interrupt
saying
them.
you're wrong. I'm
Pika,
just
Pika.
saying that like there are people who like, and that's the other thing. Like when people are like, I have evidence and stuff like that. It's like you have a small pool of evidence.
It's anecdotal. at
Yeah,
best.
you can't. You're not speaking for the overall and having a wide range of evidence of different variables, different units, different levels, equipments. There's so many variables that you're not taking into
I
account.
do.
No, I'm saying
But I do.
in
The
terms of
problem is you're gonna have some
generality.
bozo out there who goes, "Your account is just luckier than mine."
Yeah, in
And then you
terms
have to
of
prove them. You have to
generality.
prove
That's
this-
the
you have to
other
prove
thing I'm
them.
talking about. In terms of generality.
Maybe there's a bug or glitch. Maybe I'm not denying that. But if you want to talk of the game mechanics and how it, and I've seen it. When it says it's immune to control effects, it means it's immune to control effect. You think you did stop it, or maybe it's bugged for you, or maybe what you're fighting is not plus 30 jury, because at plus 30 she gains this immunity, or plus 20. I forgot.
Yeah, but where are the the computers that have plus 30?
At
You're probably
chapter
further.
28 and
I'm chapter 31 and I'm still not seeing anybody with their fighting spirit. Nobody.
yeah, you can't see the fighting spirit.
How?
You can't see
I'm
it, but
actually
you can,
curious.
you know, if you know what their effects do, you should know what to expect.
Exactly.
And I'm at chapter 31 and I've yet to see anybody with any evidence of having their fighting spirit even one level.
I played on high chapters. I was. This is how I.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What is high chapters? Because the bar for high chapter continually changes.
I think
some people said
think
chapter
on
25, then 30,
in the 30s. In the 30s, I can't recall if it's 31 or more, but in the 30s, I was. This is how I discovered Zangief cars, because I didn't know that they will put those characters with 6 cars. I was playing with the Bison, and suddenly Bison, the first one to die on the team, and I was like, wait a minute, what happened? And then I read what Zangief does, and the 6 cars kills Bison passive, and I didn't know that, and then I knew that.
I've never had
Probably
that.
happens in chapter wherever you start needing multiple teams, I think, because I'm at 31 and there's no evidence of anybody having a fighting spirit here.
And that's the other thing. I've seen videos of people interrupt jury, so that's where I'm like,
And they are not.
I'm definitely sure I can bring up a VOD and she stops and the rest of the team is like, nah.
They are not plus 30 or plus. But then jury that you're fighting is not plus 30.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I'm also at chapter 31, and if you've tested somebody who's chapter 35 plus, and that's where it becomes applicable, we need to figure that out when we release the information.
EU and separate.
I don't know when exactly. I don't know exactly when.
Yeah, nothing's confirmed at the moment because of just like how much of the disparity there is in terms of like levels and
People
where
playing.
people are at in where they're playing. Yeah.
Because I played at all the chapter 30 to 39, and I've seen other units with their plus 30s, especially jury. But when does it start? I don't know. I can't give you an answer for that.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm just saying I'm at 31. I haven't seen it yet. Nobody has a fighting spirit. There's no evidence of anybody having anything thus far. Maybe I'll discover in the next chapter, 32. Maybe they'll have it. I'm just saying right now at 31, still doesn't have it. That's all I can say from my end.
I interrupted jury at chapter 29 and at chapter 30. I did interrupt her, so it's not there. And because you can interrupt her, it means she's not immune. It means she doesn't have the plus 30 because she gains it at plus 30. Plus, she doesn't damage me when she does her buff at the start. So it means she's not at plus 30. At plus 30, when
if she has to do if she has to do buff at start, then she doesn't have plus 30.
Definitely not at plus 30.
Exactly.
Buff at start.
This is what I'm saying, because it changes.
Yeah,
So
if she comes in and instantly wheelhouses your face in, then okay, yeah, probably.
I wish they had an icon. To be honest, I wish they had an icon for every buff. I know that sounds extra and maybe too MMO-y, but like, I want to know when Bison gives his plus 20 damage. Like, none of my units show anything saying that it happens.
Yeah. There's also the fighting souls, the broken formation. People say, oh, it will increase if they're above 80%. It's only one time. And they say, but the icon pops on many times.
It's because of the crit. It's the extra crit that makes it pop up.
Yeah, when you crit with it, it will shows you the.
But there's no icon for Bison's thing at all.
No, there isn't.
Oh, the passive?
The only thing you got to go off of Bison is that if we're still not seeing Fighting Spirit at 31, then he's not going to have his plus 20 at 30. But if he has it past chapter 33, then I guess we need more people to record the fact that they begin getting fighting spirit after a certain point. I mean, I can do that. Once I pass through 31, once I get to 32, I'll see if they have fighting spirit. And then I can be like, hey, guys, I'm noticing
that
here.
Ken is visible. Ken, you get horns, purple horns on your heroes when you get the 25% buffs.
Yeah,
you get that. You get that anyway. So you get that just off
clarify.
A. He doesn't need fighting spirit for that. He gets that just off A. That's his passive.
His passive. Yeah, his passive. His passive shows.
The passive is just levels, not fighting spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
These guys actually do the math, but I'm too fucking lazy to do.
It's robot.
Somebody's connection got bad.
It's me or
yeah, your connection's getting spotty, bro.
You're getting Robotron.
Not me. It's I. It's I.
No, yeah. That's what we're talking about. You're clear.
And everybody, please go watch Dombuka stream on Twitch, bro. He's the best one for me to watch. His stream is nice. He sounds nice. He's down to earth. He responds. He does what you ask him in chat. Go watch his stream.
Yeah, I appreciate the shout out, homie.
I'll put this on record then for recording. Zangief is the best character ever.
Who is?
Zangief, dude. Zangief's the best character, man.
Ain't nobody down that. People are finally recognizing the power of Zangief. Not Beastgief,
the
but
red
regular.
cyclone.
Everybody's recognizing the power. He's slapping out Bipsons everywhere.
Yeah, listen, I respect.
He looks nutty.
Look, I respect regular Zangief more than Beast Zangief. At least regular Zangief earns it and puts the respect in people. And he's like, respect my name. Beast Zangief just cheeses everybody.
Listen. I want to tell you how my logic works. If one unit can do something that no other can, it's a very high tier. It's a priority. So it's Vanilla Zangief and Beast Zangief.
I am the anti-meta guy. I do that in every game.
But they both do something that no other unit can do.
Exactly. So they are high priority. That's in my opinion. This is how my logic works.
No, completely understand.
No, it takes, yes, I am the anti-meta guy. Like, I refused. I probably would be in like chapter 30 or plus with Beast Zangief. But no, I refuse. I will rather like get slapped and heal with Elena and take it like a man than use Beast Zangief.
Nah, bro. We get slapped and shield with Abel. What's
you
a healer?
Believe.
Dude, Abel is so good.
He is.
So,
yeah, don't sleep on Abel.
People
E-Honda takes a beating. I murked
that stall team.
Yo, I murked the SSS E-Honda, and with the Elena and a Rose on this man's back, he will take on the world.
You only need a Rose at A, right? You don't need a Rose higher than A.
No, you need Rose at SS. From my understanding,
SS.
Wait.
You need all characters SS. They turn on realistically. It's kind of like how 240 is a game changer. SS is a character changer.
No, we were talking about Rose at A because we were talking about Rose at A, and Pika brought up that Rose at A, her passive is useful at A. So then that in that same call, Scion and Pika were talking about a team focused around E-Honda and how he doesn't die.
Yep.
And it was just like a really so I brought up the Pokemon stall team. I play stall in Pokemon. I'm sorry. It's way too much fun to play stall. It's fun to play stall.
No, I understand. My wife says it's
like,
fun.
I want to play stall.
Dude,
if I can play stall with E-Honda, I need to see that team comp because that's something that I really want to achieve in the game.
It's possible. I'm telling you right now. And I'm gonna add on to like the whole stall thing. My wife, when I taught her to play Yu-Gi-Oh, she's like, I'd rather lose and have my opponent cry because of how much I annoyed them than actually just win. Because she's like, my victory is their suffering. And I was just like, you are sick woman.
Listen, Zangief, I'll give you the best stall team in the game right now. It's Honda, Abel, Rose, Cammy.
Cammy attack for damage.
Cammy is the tank more than the damage dealer. She dodges everything. She dodges everything. She dodges everything.
Then.
She's got high dodge.
My Cammy has 109 dodge %.
Yeah. And then you want to be even more annoying? Put Dudley on E-Honda.
Oh, who's Dudley?
The
the
regular
normal one,
Dudley,
right?
because you're giving them
For counter?
yeah, for counter and dodge on E Honda, you just laugh.
Oh
It's
my
not a
god,
lot.
this
It's
is a
not a
dream come
lot.
true.
You're not doing a
I
lot, but you're being just
Actually-
enough annoying. They just imagine E Honda slapping someone whenever he gets touched. It's just like wakata, slaps you in the face, like stop it.
Any
Yeah,
any
I
tank any tank that is agility based with high dodge is great. I will try to build Makoto for a team that is only for dodging, because she has dodge gears. She's agility tank and she scales. I want to test her in
I
that
believe in
kinda.
Makoto. Makoto, I still think is great.
She's my second favorite unit in the game, but yeah,
Sion,
she needs time to be built up.
Sion has a actual interesting team that I wanted to do where he did Beast Zangief, Makoto, Bison, and someone else, and he called it the Just Stop team, where literally you're stunning and pushing at the entire team with
Yeah.
Makoto and Beast Zangief.
Back and forth.
Yeah, you just
back and
literally
forth,
just
yeah.
telling them you're not doing any skill. Just stop it.
You could probably
it-
use Guy.
in draft, she's
Doesn't
good.
Guy jumps to the person in the back, right?
Guy,
Mhm.
yeah.
So like if you're moving the team around and you can use Guy to just
Unless
be
they
like,
have a poison, then their poison is just gonna slip right past and be like, "Nah, you don't touch me."
I
True.
tried 5-star all built guy. He can't one shot. I was so sad
Yeah.
because I love the character.
Yeah, that's
I
the
love
yeah,
thing.
that.
Guy is cool. I like Yun and Yang, dude. Yun and Yang carried me so far. Like when I first started the game, I had Yun and I had Yang, and like I
Exactly.
rode them two guys the whole time in the very very early stages. Like when you get their passive where they just keep attacking off of each other, you build so
Yeah.
much meter.
Yeah.
You build so much meter. And
I
then
don't know.
I
Was
was
it you?
borrowing.
Was it you that shared it? That has the Yin and Yang SSS?
No. I wish my Yun and Yang. I had Yun and Yang in the like under before stage. Yun and Yang helped me get past stage 1540, but after 1540, it was all downhill. Like
No,
they
I
they
know
went back into the
someone.
cupboard.
Someone shared
In PvP,
a
they're
triple
underrated.
as Yin and Yang, and he was like, they
Yeah.
carried me till chapter 30. Like he was like, they legitimately
I
carried
believe
me.
it. I believe it. High speed, high damage. They get extra damage steps. So like when we're talking about Bison and the extra damage, every time Yun or Yang does a skill, the other one will jump in. So and
Exactly.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yang has a skill where he does a shoulder, like the control. The control shoulder is I still use the control shoulder. I use Yang as my my support because after Beast Zangief activates, then Yang will come out and do the palm, and then that kind of helps me set up for Dalsim right there. Like it goes Dalsim Super, Beast Zangief, or no, Dalsim Super, Elena, Beast Zangief, and then back to Dalsim. But then my Yang still comes out and does force palm. Like that's
What-
been I still use Yang. I still use
Yang, what does he hit when he comes on? The
When he
backline
as an
or-
assist.
Yeah.
He's just +5. The +5 assists where he comes out and he
No.
does the palm.
Which position does he hit though?
He
Does he hit backline?
he comes out right at the first target. Like so.
Okay.
My beast. He's attached to my Beast Zangief. So I'll pull up in the game real quick.
Okay, so like whoever happens to be in front of the
Yeah.
Zangief pole is who he'll hit.
Yeah, just indiscriminately palming the guy who's there. So
So it's just the first
effective
target.
when the assist fighter's attack results in a crit, Yang joins the fray to deal damage equal to 147% of attack to one target and fills the super combo gauge by 80. The trigger interval is 12 seconds. So like
It's an
I
initial
usually
target.
get
Okay, so front.
yeah, like so like the Beast Zangief almost always crits for me. I don't know if it's my game or whatever, but the amount of hits that he does off of combo 2, he gets a crit. So Yang will come out and then do the palm, and I'm already building more gauge in order to do the Beast Zangief spam again. Because
Then
of the
he's
palm.
good with Chun. He's perfect with Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great. The Yun and Yang is like such a great combo. It's a great character. I just wish I had
enjoyed
more of
playing
them.
in PvP on my friend's account. He have them also maxed, and they're the only team that I played. I tried a lot of teams, but like 15 to 20 games with PvP, they didn't lose any. They just they do all. I use them. The game is over even before you just notice it because they start first. They have the maximum speed. and they deal a lot of damage when you have them both in the same lineup. As PvP, I think they're invincible. I think this is the team that never loses in PvP. Oh, so if somebody does a crit, they jump into the game?
Yeah, between the brothers. It'd be sick if one hits one part of the line, the other hits the other part of the line. Sort of like a
Nice.
sandwich. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless they
I think
already work like
that's
that.
what makes
then
it dope about this game.
Forget me, but I think that would be really cool if they work like that.
That's the biggest thing that I love about this game, and that not many people either are aware, or I guess maybe are afraid to try. There are a lot of teams you can play. Like Bison is good, Beast and Geef is good, but there's other people that are good too. Like Yin and Yang is
I'm
they're
just gonna
kind of
say,
dope. You know,
y'all rating Poison the bottom of A rank. My homeboy is keeping pace with his Poison, and she honestly does crazy work. Has built up he has her. She's doing the thing. Like, it's actually crazy. Yeah, the silence is crazy for real.
So the
He
problem
doesn't
with
even
that,
need to use Beast Geef because her silence stops the enemy team way more often than he actually needs to use Beast Geef.
the only reason why she's rated as low is because it's a community list. And
I know the community rates are very
no one in the
low.
community
Exactly.
uses her. No one uses her. No one uses her. So I don't have experience. Like if your boy would like message me,
I tried
and,
posting.
like,
I tried posting in
conversation.
creators, and I tried posting otherwheres, going like, "Hey, look at this. Some of the schmoes she can do to get out of situations." That same clip also demonstrated her ability to just silence. So he was facing a double guy. Guy would come in. He'd backstep, and she'd throw.
Yeah.
She silences multiple targets. Once you get her to a certain point,
she doesn't only silence, she doesn't get hit. She does like a dash back. If guy jumps at her, and he doesn't touch her. He can't touch her. He doesn't attack her.
He can't
because she sides. She goes like a step
so he
backward.
doesn't get the mirror image either.
That's dope.
Yeah. She just dodges damage. She's impossible. Like if you have Viper against you, she also steps back. The damage is on the floor. She takes no damage. Literally no damage.
Yeah, she just goes back and hits you with the silence and the stun. Like, it's crazy.
She stops the combo.
Well, your boy needs to make a video so we can premiere the legendary Poison.
No, Poison is
realistically, like nobody's
speaking on her. I see it. Everybody's clowning on her, and I'm like, y'all don't know.
Something in like 3 or 4 videos. I said the devs knew what they did. They gave you Cammy, Poison, and Viper as starters to pick as main carry, and for a reason. You can never go wrong building those 3.
No, you really can't.
Yeah, they're.
I don't know. Maybe I'll see if I can get him to showcase on the stream or whatnot. But I swear to you, Poison is actually nuts. My boy is doing.
She is Poison. Poison is literally Poison.
Yeah, she's doing work.
Plus her intro is a
and her C3 hits like a truck. Once you get all the stacks on, like, because she stacks off all of the debuffs. So even if you want to she can silence, right? So you say you get the silence and you know the enemy team's not going to whatever, but you have a Beast Geef. Beast Geef will do the bleed or the crazy hurt that he does. Poison builds off that.
Yeah.
Does she build off a burn?
Yes, she builds every debuff. Somebody the other day confused her with Makoto. They're like, oh, she's the one who scales off having all female team. It's like, no, that's Makoto. Poison scales off debuffs. Her
crit damage when attacking male fighters, pressure when attacking female fighters.
For people that doesn't know what's pressure counters dodge. Okay.
Yeah.
The more pressure you have, the less dodge the enemy does.
I want to throw out another name of like who's sneaky. I mentioned them before, but Dudley. You know, screw that guy, because like every now and again I've noticed when I face the Dudley,
you get cross countered,
and I get worse than that. My unit would just delete their whole HP bar, just gone, and I was like, wait, what happen? Nothing, literally nothing. No, the enemy's not doing a combo or nothing. And I'm legitimately like baffled, and I'm rewatching the match over and over and over. And then it took me forever to realize it's because Dawson just pimp slapped him in the. I'm not Dawson. Dudley just pimp slapped him with the counter.
Cross counter.
And I was just like, why does he do so much damage? Yeah, go to his passive real quick if you can.
But everything about him is about counterback. If it doesn't proc, you do nothing. And when it procs, you don't do the same damage the enemy does.
There you go.
Yeah, counterattack after dodging, dealing damage equal to 460% of attack. Trigger intervals is 10 seconds. It goes up to damage resist. Punch cannot be interrupted, and then it lowers the interval. Like, he's scary. Each counter increases the damage of subsequent counterattack punch by 15%. Yeah, look at that. He just keeps counter punching. Counter punch deals 100% increased damage if triggers a crit. It can trigger a crit. I did not know that. That's probably why it got deleted. Makes so much sense. Yeah, so yeah, Dudley's a scary tank. He's one of those dodge ones. So if you're ever facing a computer Dudley and your unit just randomly dies and gets deleted, that's because Dudley decided they needed to be deleted. When the rose hits target effect by control effect, triggers counter attack. It triggers a counter attack? Are you serious? Control effects applied. Other triggers counter attack.
With
Wait,
Bizangi.
What's a control
is it not?
effect?
The stun, what? Silence would be control.
Yeah, I think those.
Any sort of CC.
That's pretty nutty. I was looking into Dudley more because when they revealed that it's Flamely that's coming,
Yes.
apparently it was confirmed that it's Flamely that's coming out. And as a fire user, I'm like drooling because I'm like, damn, do I really have to buy her?
11,
I would say
Dudley
it is
not
pain that
busted.
she's not fire class to be able to use her in fire tower. Fire tower.
I'm not. When I say I'm a fire user, I don't care about fire tower. I'm a fire user to the rest of the world. In PvP, PvE, that's where I'm a fire user.
Dudley is good, but he's not super insane as you think. He doesn't provide the damage that you take from the enemies. The enemies scales with their levels. Remember, there's a big difference.
Well, here's the reason why I'm looking at
Fei Long destroys us in
Dudley.
story. Does it mean he's the best? No. I tried Fei Long.
No. Well, here's the thing. I'm thinking of as a faction team. If I wanted to do like a fire tank, but I'm also thinking of like my secondary faction. I'm a big believer of thunder and fire are like best friends because I love Elena. So if I'm gonna use Elena as a support, I'm gonna hook E Honda onto Dudley for that 35% damage reduction.
I mean, Pika.
That's what I'm thinking.
I agree with you because, like, in later contents, most of the damage is just basically flat attack, right? So then it's not gonna scale really, really heavily. Like, if you're comparing it to burn or like defense ignore, like just flat out damage multipliers is not gonna cut it.
Tix, how much do you think I can push as levels? I broke through 240 now.
Hey, congrats! You can reach 276 or 77, 260, 270 something.
How much did you have saved prior?
I saved almost 1 billion, 2 billion EXP.
What?
And 1 billion cash.
Bro, you're going to the moon. Excuse me?
Not even. That's like a week's worth of stuff. If we're to be honest in this game,
2 billion. That's a lot of currency.
My man's Elon going to Mars, baby.
I'll stream it. Wait, let me go onto my phone. 1 second.
Well, I couldn't imagine it because you got the hammer events that give you mats. You got the
Let me bring this up.
we know this is not bingo. Let's throw this out there. This is not bingo.
No, that
It's
ain't
not
bingo.
a bingo
That's scratch
game.
tickets, bro. These are straight up scratch tickets.
It's
Yeah,
a scratch ticket
like-
off. This is not bingo.
It's weird, but I wanted to like start a discussion on like so there's this Chun-Li unit coming out. Like, what are we to expect? What it is, and how would we like it to be?
Expected to be a legendary for $50 at the beginning and the total price of
that's if you get
$100
the
similar to Fashion
bonus.
Sakura.
That's if you get the 50% bonus.
That's what I'm expecting.
Right? If they're gonna do it like that, where the first time we got the 50% bonus, 100%, everybody got that.
The
then
discount.
The discount, then yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Discount,
for me, so here's where like it gets like whatever, because like if it was just like $100, because I'm Canadian, if it was $100, it wouldn't feel so bad. But after translation, that comes up to $134 plus tax.
Yeah,
so this ends up being $140 unit, and I'm like, nah, never mind. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
not
good.
worth
Maybe
it.
if it was 99,
Look-
then I look more into it. But the fact that that's basically a game plus its expansion for a year's worth of content, it's kind of difficult for me to drop.
Yeah, for one character.
I was
it
legitimately
doesn't equate.
hoping. Yeah,
What if-
I was legitimately hoping we got the blue Chun-Li because I really didn't want it to be the fire Chun-Li because apparently like they
The
are
water Chun-Li?
drastic in their
Yeah.
kits. Yeah, the water Chun-Li apparently sucks donkey duty, and the fire Chun-Li is
Here's-
actually really
Here's what I
good.
thought was pretty
And
good. Like,
as-
so you roll out the character, right? So
Yeah.
Fashion Blanca was gated by VIP, right?
Which you can earn through free to play
Yeah.
still.
Which you still
You
can
can
get.
still
Which you
spend
still can
you can
get.
still spend money to unlock him sooner. So I think that at that metric, it's like you can still cater to the whales who want to just spend. It's like, here, you get all of these rewards, 30 days worth of rewards, or you can wait to get to a certain VIP level because it took me forever to get, like, I'm like 2 days away from Fashion Blanca. So
Mhm.
like they could increase the VIP amount by like 2 or 3 levels realistically if they wanted to be so they're gonna be greedy about it. I'm gonna put it out there. They're gonna be, if they wanted to be really greedy about it, it would be like 5 mastery levels. But if they wanted to cater to the group,
VIP technically was at
yeah,
instead of 3.
yeah. So like it would just,
Okay.
you would just increase the VIP level up, and then like here's Fashion
Okay.
Chun-Li. She's not gonna go away. Treat it like Fashion Blanca, and then that'll satisfy a lot of people really easily. But if
Mhm.
if it's like Sakura, oh my god, I'm gonna be really sad if it's just straight up Sakura.
That's the thing, is I didn't buy Sakura because I can't.
She's not good. She's not good. She doesn't do anything crazy.
I wouldn't say that. It's just looking
Whoa.
like Canadian dollar wise, because there's this price difference.
Yeah.
Bro, it's wild to see almost $140 for a character. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, that is
that's-
insane. Like I totally get it.
Price wise it is bonkers. We're saying this. I bought her at 50, and to me, I think she was worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of wish I did. Like,
But if you're telling me Flame Chun-Li is $100, I'm never getting her. I just can't afford that. It ain't even the fact of whether she's worth it.
I
just
spent
can't
money
afford
on the
that.
game, just so
I'm
you all
not
know.
spending
Like,
$100.
I'm almost VIP 11. Just through other
Yeah, that's
other
good.
things.
That's an investment.
But I've been playing the game. I feel dollar to playtime. I have been playing that much. However, how much is that going to continue? I don't know. If units keep releasing the way they are, then like, it becomes more difficult.
I will say this is like the harsh thing to say here would be they wouldn't need your money in the future if somebody else is going to pay for it. They've already got what you invested into the game.
Yeah,
and I'm on your side. I'm on your side, but I mean, general chat was just infested with like doom and gloom. I don't want to bring that into the voice chat from yesterday, but I will say this, like the the way that they're unveiling the like. What is Vega gonna be? Like, what are we expected from Vega? Is he gonna just be? Is he the next Akuma ticket like rotation, and then Akuma rotates out and then comes back in? Like, what are we?
Vega,
I
hold
think
on.
Vega's probably gonna be more like
wait.
TK. I think.
Let's use what has already happened and what has been the information given to us. My belief is, and the way Dino has made it known, is that there's no event attached to these units. Well, specifically Vega. There's no Vega event. So if we're gonna take what happened previously, I'm gonna use Street Poison and Trendy Cami. One quote unquote pay to win with divination, and the other one was a regular pull. So if this gonna follow that, since we already know Flame Chung Li is Maul, that would be the pay to win unit, which then does makes Vega the divination trendy cami normal pull.
We haven't gotten a Maul unit though in a while. Like, when was the last Maul unit that wasn't Blanca or Chun Li? So like,
well, that's what. To be fair, we only necessarily
Maul unit. You can get him.
He's the event.
Yeah, Blanca's not a Maul unit. E Honda is a Maul unit.
He's
that's
not necessarily a Maul unit.
He's in the event tab.
If you happen to buy a crazy pack, you got Honda for like free. Like, if you look at it for where we are now, his value is poor as shit. 6 hours of +5, or 5 hours of +6, and 5 hours of breakstones. Like, that ain't shit nowadays. Early on, when the game released,
don't buy E Honda. Anyone who bought E Honda for $100, I feel sorry for you.
No. The way that worked is, if you bought like a Bison pack, you would get E Honda as a bonus. You can't just straight up buy him. You have to buy a different $130 for me, $150, $34 pack, and then you also get to claim him.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just spend $100 getting $100, because I was about to be like, that is the dumbest decision you can ever make. No.
If you bought another,
I don't know, dude. Downloading the game is pretty silly too. Waka waka.
Holy shit!
It opens up to addiction. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to play the greatest mobile game, don't download it.
No, I think so. Like, what do we have on the horizon? We have Chun-Li on the horizon. Yep. And we have Vega.
Yep.
I mean, so throw Chun-Li at Master into Divination, but throw Vega into the normal pool, like Street Poison. That would be fun.
I think that's what's gonna happen. I think it's going to be because Trendy Cami is in the normal pool.
Yeah, or Trendy. Call it Trendy Chun-Li.
As Bison.
Trendy Chun. Is it called Fashion Chun-Li? Is that what it's called?
I think they called her Flame Chung-Li on the
Flame Chung-Li from
Okay. So
on the Twitter post.
That's the one thing, is not every character is fashion. But every fashion character is a fashion unit. It has to say fashion within their name.
Fashions are legendary, but Chun-Li is...
Well, Flame Chun-Li is legendary, but she's technically not fashion.
Really?
But yeah, she's legendary. Like, it's announced on the Twitter, she's legendary.
She's legendary.
And that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. If she's another, like, for me, if she's another $135 unit, I'm probably not going to get it.
It's an easy pass.
That's a lot.
So many people are going to pass on it, but you only need one person.
Well, that's the thing is, like, these mall units are meant to be selected by specific people.
No, for real, I get
like
that.
Not many people need Fashion Sakura.
The business model is weird for me. Like, okay, so you don't need 10 people to spend $10. You only need one person to spend $100. But I would rather make 10 people happy instead of one.
We're supporting the game.
You know how I think about this? I think about a lot of this stuff because I'm not a gacha game player, so I don't have experience with a lot of gachas. My closest thing that I can like relay to it is like Fortnite versus Valorant. Valorant is a good game. Fortnite is, a memeable game. However, I spend way more money in Fortnite because each individual transaction is way more tangible than transactions in Valorant. In Valorant, to get like a full pack, I need to spend the equivalent of $100. to get anything worthwhile.
Oof.
But in Fortnite, I can
That's a
spend
lot.
like $11 and get like a really cool skin, and then rock with that for till like the next cool skin that I see comes out, and then I'll buy that because it's $11. But like I can keep doing that over so long. But Valorant, they expect me to almost pay like $100 every time a pack comes out. I'm like, nah, keep it. Like I don't want to spend.
The only thing about Valorant and Fortnite, I don't play Valorant, so I don't know what's in the packs. But in Fortnite, the skins are purely cosmetic, right? Like they don't offer.
They are in Valorant. They are in Valorant as well. They're just cosmetic. Some of them have sound effects.
They don't offer.
Everything's cosmetic.
Yeah, they don't offer anything in the
But in
game.
Street Fighter Duels, the problem is they aren't cosmetic.
True.
Yeah,
That's
like
the
in Street
other
Fighter, it
problem.
impacts the game, your gameplay, because you have
That's
something that's unique. But in Valorant and
Yeah.
Fortnite, like when you buy a skin, you buy a skin, but the skin isn't doing something
So-
particularly different. You could play as LeBron,
So then
or
the
you
reason
can play
I'm
as
bringing this
Master
up,
Chief.
I
They
guess
both play the same.
you could say, is because people like make
Yeah.
references to like other gotchas where things might be cheaper. I don't know how impactful those units are.
It happens all
But-
the time.
Same sort of thing. It's like if I were in the gotcha space, why would I spend my money in one gotcha, even though it has a license? Why would I spend it in one gotcha when I could get more for my money in like another type of thing? Maybe I just don't get the gotcha mentality.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
It's a different
in
thing.
that instance, I think it's more personal. Yeah, I think that one is more personal preference. It's because like, the argument that some people have is, I'm not gonna spend $60 on a gotcha game because I could buy a $60 single story game where I get more enjoyment.
That's
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
some people,
that's what
It's a
I was
Yeah,
like
but then
purely
s-
talking to like cosmetic, and then transferring that to gotcha versus gotcha, not
Mm.
necessarily full game versus gotcha.
Yeah.
So cosmetic.
you.
I mean, cosmetic versus cosmetic. I guess I'm not gonna lie. For me, I'm a shiny goblin. I likes the thing that looks pretty. I like the thing that like not everyone has. So I can understand, and that's where these games work on the fear of missing
Mhm.
out, because they're like 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 example, Chun-Li, Flame Chun-Li is perfect because for me, I really hope she sucks.
Oh,
I really do.
God
And the
damn,
reason,
bro.
well, here's the reason why. Wait. Here's the reason why. I'm not saying I hope she sucks because in general, like, I just want her to bad. It's just that, like, I, as a fire user, and anyone that uses Akuma, anyone that uses Sea Viper, Fei Long, Fashion Blanca, if this Flame Chun-Li makes them cracked out, she basically becomes a mandatory must buy.
yeah. Like
She becomes a must buy for fire users, and I really don't want that. I don't want a must buy to be behind the paywall.
no, yeah.
Like B Sengi, he could be a must have unit, but everyone could pull B Sengi. I'm
You
cool
could
with
have.
that.
I forget which shop had him. One of the event shops had him early.
Scion, listen, I know. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna be the dude that buys her. Cause like with Dawson, with Fei Long, with Fashion Blanca, with all of that I have on my team, and I'm even building a Maya Cody to add on to like the damage. If she interrupts and has fire burn
I'll
and
tell
damage
you-
balls for fire, like Christ, I have to have her at that point.
I tell you something I did early in my playthrough of the game. Like this is before I joined the Discord and everything. So I had Mayor Cody at S plus, and I had Hugo at S plus. I fed my Mayor Cody to my Hugo on accident.
Oh no!
I thought because like I looked at
Rip.
Mayor Cody and I thought it was a Ken. Like I was just it was like 3:00 in the morning. I wasn't really paying attention. Like, and I looked at the Mayor Cody and I was like, oh, that's Ken, right? And then the menu popped out and I fat fingered it and I was like, oh, okay.
Said blonde hair white dude and just fed him.
Oh, that's
God dang.
I was like,
bro.
okay, yeah. Well, I have a Hugo.
that's.
I have an SS Hugo that I don't use.
All right, so my story, I fed a mayor Cody to another one, and then the very next, yeah, it was a mistake. But the thing is, it was one of those not mistake type of thing where you're just like, I'll deal with it. It's Mayor Cody. He sucks. He's not gonna do
Yeah.
anything. And then an hour later, someone pinged me. directly and was asking me about Dalsum, and they're like, and I was like, oh, Fei Long this, Dalsum that, and they're like, but what about Mayor Cody? And I was like, what about him? And he's like, yeah, put him on Bison, and he makes Bison cracked out with his damage buff. And I was like, no, he doesn't. And he's like, yeah, go read him. I read him. I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. And now I'm building Mayor Cody.
Yeah.
For anyone that's not aware, Mayor Cody has a duel thing when he's in a Sith. Whoever he's equipped on will duel the strongest enemy on the opposing team. So put it on the Immortal Bison, and he will nuke that opposing team's DPS with his blast. It is so good. And like how Tix is saying, put it on a boss, because the boss is the only target of the debuff, I guess you would say. It Bison immediately doing, I think, an extra 12% or 15% damage. 100%? 15%. Okay, yeah, an extra 15% damage. And it will only go away if Bison dies, but he doesn't. So. Mayor Cody, don't sleep on him, folks.
Bruh, look, I hoard everybody. I don't really, unless it's like, the only time I've ever eaten a unit is if that A unit is necessary for my SS unit to break into triple S.
Yeah, because you already have units backed up.
Exactly. Like it's if it's a spare one. And like when I mean spare is like if I eat it, that spare can still get to triple S.
Yeah, I've done that too. You're sacrificing a star, but you're at least getting the triple S. So, for everyone, thank you. This was a blast. The call's not over. You're more than welcome to stay and talk. But the recording itself for the podcast will be over. So if anyone would like to say anything to the podcast, like say goodbye, say thank you, now would be the opportunity. For those listening, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. You guys rock.